So, I'm in my office when this pounding at our gate starts, like a sledgehammer on steel, and Diane Harper, our HOA dictator, is out there, waving her clipboard, screaming for a ban inspection like it's a SWAT raid. My wife, Clara, cool as ice, tells her no, and Diane, with this wicked smirk, dials 911, thinking she's got us pinned until Clara steps out in her shiny new police chief uniform, and Diane's face drains whiter than a sheet, like she just realized she's called the boss to bust herself. Let me tell you, that showdown in Riverwood Heights wasn't just a win, it sparked a fire that burned down a criminal empire hiding behind HOA nonsense. I'm Caleb Turner, a regular guy who, 6 months back, inherited 15 acres in this Georgia suburb, once farmland, now swallowed by McMansion mania. The 1952 barn my granddad built, with its weathered boards and tin roof that hums in the rain, is my tie to him priceless. Clara, my wife of 3 years, had just landed the district police chief gig, swapping state police stress for a quieter life. We figured the worst we'd deal with was complaints about our chickens being too rowdy. Then Diane rode up on day 2, pearls gleaming, toting a rulebook thicker than a dictionary. "Welcome," she said, voice like a principal scolding a kid. That barn's got a goit and I saw. Her blonde hair was cemented in place, and she lectured us like we'd flunked Suburbia 101. Diane went full stalker on our barn, cruising by twice daily, snapping pics with a lens fit for a tabloid, measuring, scribbling. Clara and I watched from our kitchen, half laughing, half annoyed. 3 weeks in, she ditched passive-aggressive notes for straight-up demands. That Tuesday, Clara answered the door, coffee in hand. "Diane, what's up?" Diane spewed about new safety rules and community concerns. "Open the barn now," she barked, pointing like it was a meth lab. Clara set her mug down, slow, deliberate. "Not without a warrant." Diane's smile turned nasty. "Fine," she sneered, calling 911. "I'm reporting non-compliance." She painted Clara as shady, grinning like she'd won the lottery. I nearly choked when Clara stepped out in her chief's uniform. "Mrs. Harper," she said, notepad ready, "you reported an issue." Diane stammered, "I didn't know," and bolted, but not before hissing, "I've got ways to fix this." That wasn't HOA talk, that was a threat. By Thursday, Diane turned her humiliation into a weapon. Riverwood Heights Facebook group exploded with her post-sour ban in grainy shots, accusations of police corruption, news outlets tagged. She spun us as crooks hiding assets. The local paper ran Chief's Family Blocks inspection, and by Monday, Clara's captain called about an internal affairs probe. 20 years of blood and sweat, Clara said, drained, and she's touching it. But I was digging too. Our neighbor, Tom Alvarez, a retired mechanic, went quiet after Diane's stunt. I caught him at his mailbox, and he spilled, "Caleb, Diane's on late-night calls about cash drops and night runs. Your barn's location's her obsession." His photos showed fancy cars at her place at 2 a.m., Canadian-plated trucks, suits in her yard, not HOA meetings. Then, Mrs. Agnes Wheeler, an 80-year-old with eyes like a hawk, dropped a bomb. "Caleb," she whispered, "Diane's meeting sketchy foreigners, scoping your land at night, talking inventory before winter. Her pics showed trucks by our property, guys with survey gear. Your granddad said this land's got secrets," she added. That night, Clara and I knew Diane wasn't just a bully, she wanted our land for something huge. I hit the county records, finding a forged storage facility permit in my name, dated weeks after Granddad died, tied to Riverwood Global Partners, Diane's P.O. Box, $12 million in funding, screaming smuggling. Clara went full chief. "This is my case," she said, calling Detective Mike Larson, her financial crimes guru. He was at our house fast, dissecting Tom's docs and my permit. "Smuggling hub," he said, mapping a Canada-Mexico network. Our farm roads were perfect for hidden transport, the barn for storage. Diane's HOA gig was a front. Next morning, we found tire tracks around the barn, nighttime prowlers. Clara launched a probe, wiretaps, surveillance, homeland security. Diane hit back with a lawsuit, demanding barn access, claiming hazards, with $10,000 daily fines. Her legal game was too slick. She planned this for years. Then, a twist, Clara's old partner, Lisa, now a private investigator, uncovered Diane's past. Thanked a business partner, framing him for fraud, same playbook she used on us. Lisa's files showed Diane targeted strategic properties before. A lawyer called about Granddad's will codicil, triggered by threats. Granddad's note said, check the barn's bookshelf, third shelf, almanac. We found a box with 1850 surveys. Our land was an underground railroad stop, with intact tunnels, smuggler's gold. Granddad's letter warned, these tunnels are freedom's legacy, keep them pure. Diane knew, craving them for her network. The codicil locked our land as historic, untouchable. Diane's big mistake came at dawn. She rode up with two mob-looking suits. Caleb, let's settle this, she said, offering triple our land's value. Her folder spilled Northern Gateway Logistics, smuggling routes from Toronto to Tijuana. Clara's phone pin feds had it all on tape. You're messing with global cash, Diane growled. Agents swarmed, cuffing her. You'll pay, she spat. Raids hit 12 states, 3 countries, nabbing $200 million in contraband. Our tunnels hid $15 million in drugs, moved via secret lifts in our barn. Diane's hidden office showed a $50 million empire. At sentencing, Diane admitted killing her husband when he threatened to snitch. Grief from his first death drove her to ruthlessness. She got life. Our land's now a protected underground railroad site, the barn a museum. We run a transparent community board. Was Diane pure evil or a broken woman warped by loss? Comment your take. Faced an HOA scam. I read everyone. Like if justice hit right, subscribe for more. Crime versus legacy, what's worth fighting for? Let's talk. So, I'm in my office when this pounding at our gate starts, like a sledgehammer on steel, and Diane Harper, our HOA dictator, is out there, waving her clipboard, screaming for a barn inspection like it's a SWAT raid. My wife, Clara, cool as ice, tells her no, and Diane, with this wicked smirk, dials 911, thinking she's got us pinned until Clara steps out in her shiny new police chief uniform, and Diane's face drains whiter than a sheet, like she just realized she's called the boss to bust herself. Let me tell you, that showdown in Riverwood Heights wasn't just a win, it sparked a fire that burned down a criminal empire hiding behind HOA nonsense. I'm Caleb Turner, a regular guy who, 6 months back, inherited 15 acres in this Georgia suburb, once farmland, now swallowed by McMansion mania. The 1952 barn my granddad built, with its weathered boards and tin roof that hums in the rain, is my tie to him, priceless.